Hello guys, this is Movie Lover and welcome to this Movie Lover world. In 1996, a patient admitted to the ICU ward of St. Aloysius Hospital, Pennsylvania, suffers a seizure. Despite the efforts of the hospital staff to resuscitate him, the patient dies. 7 years later, in 2003, Amy Loughran, a single mother and nurse working night shifts at Parkfield Memorial Hospital, New Jersey, is introduced to Charles Cullen, an experienced nurse recently recruited by the hospital as additional help to her shift. Unbeknownst to the hospital's administrative staff, Amy is revealed to be suffering from cardiomyopathy, her dearth of health insurance, lack of kin and the fear of retribution should her condition be divulged prompts her to keep it a secret. Despite her precarious condition, she has no other choice than to remain as a working nurse for another 4 months, in order to acquire insurance to afford a heart transplant. Charlie, who discovers her condition, empathetically agrees to keep it a secret, also volunteering to step in as a caretaker for her 2 daughters. When Ana Martinez, a septuagenarian patient admitted to Parkfield, inexplicably dies, the hospital's administrative board contacts the state police, represented by detectives Danny Baldwin and Tim Braun, to inform them of the incident. Nonetheless, the board, led by Linda Garran, the hospital's risk manager, downplays it, claiming the death was unintentional and that the reason for reporting it was simply to abide by health protocol. Regardless, Baldwin remains distrustful of the board, noting that it had acted to report Martinez's death 7 weeks after its occurrence, and by the hospital's reluctance to share its investigation into the event. He quickly fixates on Charlie, noting that he had been convicted of minor charges in 1995. The duo begin interrogating the hospital's medical staff. When Amy's turn comes, she notices that insulin had been administered to Martinez, despite her being a non-diabetic. She is further questioned about Charlie's character, but she speaks up for him. Braun attempts to contact the hospitals where Charlie had previously worked at, but none are willing to cooperate. Parkfield finally shares its investigation with the police, but Baldwin notices that it is fragmentary, leading him to snap at Garran for her incompetence, causing him and Braun to be banned from the hospital. When Kelly Anderson, another ICU patient, suddenly develops strange cognitive symptoms, Amy discovers that insulin had been administered to her. Kelly suffers a seizure and dies, despite Amy's efforts to save her. Baldwin and Braun subsequently visit Amy, revealing to her that Charlie had previously worked at 9 different hospitals, and that none are willing to talk about him. Perplexed, she visits her friend, Lori, a fellow nurse who had previously worked with Charlie at a different hospital. Lori reveals that during Charlie's tenure, her hospital had dealt with the inexplicable deaths of numerous patients, with the discovery of insulin in several of them. Shocked, Amy raids Parkfield's storage, discovering holes in several 4 bags, indicating that they had been contaminated, which finally convinces her of Charlie's complicity. She alerts the detectives, quickly realizing that Garran had intentionally withheld critical information from them, indicating that she was well aware of the plot. Amy convinces Kelly's husband to exhume her body for an autopsy, which reveals that a dual combination of insulin and digoxin led to her death. Elsewhere, Garran fires Charlie under the pretext of minor discrepancies found in his medical application, much to Baldwin's consternation. In an attempt to entice Charlie into disclosing his actions, the detectives have Amy arrange a meeting with him. However, he violently reacts when his dubious past is brought up. He leaves, but not before revealing his new workplace. The police arrest him, but are unable to get him to confess on record. Unwilling to see him released, Amy volunteers to talk to Charlie. She has a warm one-on-one discussion with him. Resigned, Charlie confesses to having murdered numerous patients through his modus operandi, stating he simply did it. A note at the end of the movie reveals the respective fates of Charlie and Amy. Charlie was sentenced to 18 consecutive life sentences for the murder of 29 patients, but that the actual number could be as high as 400. Amy got the heart surgery she needed, and now lives in Florida. Thanks for watching. Movie Lover will meet you again with new story till take care.